Lithuania's history begins with the Baltic tribes who settled the region around 3000 BCE. These early inhabitants, including the Lithuanians, Latvians, and Old Prussians, shared similar languages and cultures distinct from their Slavic and Germanic neighbors. Archaeological evidence suggests these tribes practiced agriculture, animal husbandry, and maintained extensive trade networks with neighboring regions. The first written mention of Lithuania appears in the Quedlinburg Chronicle in 1009 CE, which describes the death of Saint Bruno of Corfurt in the confines of Russia and Lithuania. This reference marks Lithuania's entry into recorded European history, though the region had been inhabited by Baltic peoples for millennia. The 13th century marked the beginning of Lithuanian statehood under the pressure of external threats. The Teutonic Knights, a German crusading order, had begun their conquest of Prussia and posed a serious threat to Baltic independence. In response, Lithuanian tribes began unifying under strong leaders. King Mindaugas emerged as the first historically documented ruler of Lithuania around 1236. He successfully consolidated various Lithuanian tribes and territories, establishing the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. In 1251, Mindaugas converted to Christianity and was crowned King of Lithuania by Pope Innocent IV, though he later reverted to paganism. His assassination in 1263 plunged the country into civil war, but the foundation of the Lithuanian state had been established. Following Mindaugas, a succession of Grand Dukes expanded Lithuanian territory dramatically. Gediminas established Vilnius as the capital and extended Lithuanian influence into Slavic territories. His son Algirdas continued this expansion, making Lithuania one of the largest European states of the medieval period. The pivotal moment in Lithuanian history came with the marriage of Grand Duke Jogaila to Queen Jadwiga of Poland in 1386. Jogaila converted to Christianity, took the name Władysław II Jagiello, and became King of Poland, establishing the Jagiellon dynasty. This personal union between Poland and Lithuania created one of Europe's most powerful political entities. The Battle of Grunwald in 1410 represents the pinnacle of Polish-Lithuanian military cooperation. The combined forces decisively defeated the Teutonic Knights, effectively ending their expansion eastward and securing Lithuania's independence. This victory became a defining moment in Lithuanian national consciousness. Under the Jagiellon dynasty, the Grand Duchy of Lithuania reached its territorial zenith, stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. The state encompassed present-day Lithuania, Belarus, most of Ukraine, and parts of Poland and Russia. Vilnius became a major center of culture and learning, attracting scholars, merchants, and artisans from across Europe. The Union of Lublin in 1569 transformed the personal union into a formal political entity, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. This arrangement granted significant autonomy to Lithuania while creating a unified foreign policy and defense system. The Commonwealth became known for its unique political system, characterized by religious tolerance, noble democracy, and cultural diversity. During this period, Lithuania experienced significant cultural and religious changes. The Protestant Reformation gained followers, followed by the Catholic Counter-Reformation. The nobility increasingly adopted Polish customs and the Catholic faith, while the peasantry largely remained Orthodox or continued traditional practices. The Commonwealth faced increasing challenges in the 17th and 18th centuries. Wars with Sweden, Russia, and the Ottoman Empire, combined with internal political dysfunction, weakened the state. The liberum veto system, which allowed any noble to dissolve parliamentary sessions, paralyzed decision-making. Economic decline and social tensions further destabilized the region. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was partitioned 3 times between Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Lithuania fell primarily under Russian control, marking the beginning of over a century of foreign domination. The Russian Empire implemented policies of cultural assimilation, restricting Lithuanian language and culture while promoting Russian Orthodox Christianity. The 1831 November Uprising saw significant Lithuanian participation, though it was ultimately unsuccessful. In response, Russian authorities intensified their Russification policies, closing Vilnius University in 1832 and banning the Latin alphabet for Lithuanian publications. The 1863 January Uprising again involved Lithuanian nobles and peasants, but its failure led to even harsher repression. Despite political oppression, the 19th century witnessed a Lithuanian national awakening. The lifting of the press ban in 1904 allowed Lithuanian literature and journalism to flourish. Figures like Jonas Basanavičius and Vinkus Kudirka became champions of Lithuanian culture and independence. The newspaper, Azra, played a crucial role in developing Lithuanian national consciousness. Lithuania declared independence on February 16, 1918, taking advantage of the chaos following World War I and the Russian Revolution. The Act of Independence was signed by the Council of Lithuania, led by Jonas Basanavičius. However, achieving actual independence required years of struggle. The Lithuanian Wars of Independence involved conflicts with Bolshevik Russia, Poland, and the German Freikorps. The Lithuanians successfully defended their territory against Soviet forces but lost Vilnius to Poland in 1920. Kaunas became the temporary capital, a status it maintained until 1940. The interwar period saw significant state-building efforts. Lithuania established democratic institutions, developed its economy, and pursued diplomatic recognition. The country joined the League of Nations in 1921 and maintained neutrality in European conflicts. However, internal political instability led to Antanas Smetana's authoritarian coup in 1926, establishing a nationalist dictatorship that lasted until 1940. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact sealed Lithuania's fate in 1939. Soviet forces occupied the country in June 1940, and Lithuania was incorporated into the USSR as the Lithuanian Soviet Socialist Republic. The Soviet regime immediately began deportations of Lithuanian intellectuals, officials, and perceived enemies of the state. The German invasion of the Soviet Union in June 1941 brought new horrors to Lithuania. The Holocaust was implemented with devastating efficiency, destroying Lithuania's vibrant Jewish communities that had existed for centuries. Approximately 95% of Lithuanian Jews were murdered during the Nazi occupation, representing one of the highest percentage losses in Europe. Lithuanian resistance took various forms throughout the occupations. The June 1941 anti-Soviet uprising temporarily liberated parts of the country before German forces arrived. During the Nazi occupation, some Lithuanians collaborated while others resisted. The Soviet reoccupation in 1944 triggered a guerrilla war that lasted until the mid-1950s. The Forest Brothers, as these partisans were known, fought a hopeless but determined campaign against Soviet rule. Post-war Soviet Lithuania underwent rapid industrialization and urbanization. The Soviet system brought education, healthcare, and industrial development, but at the cost of political freedom and cultural autonomy. Mass deportations to Siberia in 1948–1949 removed potential resistance leaders and independent farmers. The 1960s and 1970s saw a gradual liberalization, though political control remained strict. Lithuanian culture survived through literature, theater, and music, with figures like poet Justinas Marcinkevičius and composer Bronius Kutavičius maintaining national identity within Soviet constraints. The 1980s brought dramatic changes with Mikhail Gorbachev's reforms. The Lithuanian independence movement, led by Sąjūdis, gained momentum after 1987. The organization of the Baltic Way in 1989, where 2 million people formed a human chain across the 3 Baltic states, demonstrated unprecedented unity and determination for independence. On March 11, 1990, Lithuania became the first Soviet republic to declare independence, with Vytautas Landsbergis as the first head of state. The Soviet Union initially responded with economic blockades and military pressure, culminating in the tragic events of January 13, 1991, when Soviet forces killed 14 civilians at the Vilnius TV tower. The failed August 1991 coup in Moscow finally secured Lithuanian independence, which was recognized by the Soviet Union and the international community. Lithuania faced enormous challenges in transitioning from a centrally planned economy to a market system while building democratic institutions. The post-independence period has been marked by steady progress toward European integration. Lithuania joined NATO in 2004 and the European Union the same year, fulfilling the dream of returning to the Western community of nations. The country successfully weathered the 2008 global financial crisis and adopted the euro in 2015. Throughout its complex history, Lithuania has maintained a distinctive cultural identity that blends Baltic traditions with European influences. The Lithuanian language, one of the oldest Indo-European languages still spoken today, serves as a crucial link to the nation's ancient past. Linguists value Lithuanian for its archaic features, which preserve elements of Proto-Indo-European grammar and vocabulary that have disappeared from other languages. Lithuanian folklore and mythology reflect the nation's pagan heritage, with ancient deities like Perkinas and Zemina remaining part of cultural consciousness. Traditional festivals such as Joninės and Ukskavones continue to be celebrated, connecting modern Lithuanians to their ancestral traditions. The country's literary tradition has produced internationally recognized figures, including Nobel Prize winner Czesław Miłosz, who spent his formative years in Lithuania, and contemporary authors like Kristina Sabaliauskaitė and Sigittas Parulskis. Lithuanian cinema, particularly the works of directors like Žarnas Bartas and Algimantas Puipa, has gained recognition at international film festivals. Architecture in Lithuania tells the story of its multicultural past. Medieval castles like Trakai reflect the Grand Duchy's power, while Baroque churches in Vilnius showcase the Counter-Reformation's influence. The interwar period produced distinctive functionalist architecture, and Soviet-era buildings, though controversial, represent an important chapter in the nation's urban development. Lithuania's economic transformation since independence has been remarkable but not without difficulties. The transition from a centrally planned economy to market capitalism required privatization of state enterprises, establishment of financial institutions, and integration into global markets. The initial years were marked by hyperinflation and economic instability, but reforms gradually stabilized the economy. The country has successfully diversified its economy beyond traditional industries like agriculture and textiles. Information technology has become a major sector, with companies like Vinted achieving unicorn status. The fintech sector has also flourished, with Lithuania becoming a European hub for financial technology companies, partly due to Brexit-related relocations from London. Tourism has emerged as an important economic sector, with visitors drawn to Vilnius's UNESCO World Heritage Old Town, the Curonian Spit's unique landscape, and the Hill of Crosses pilgrimage site. The country has also developed a reputation for dark tourism, with sites like the KGB Museum and former Soviet bunkers attracting visitors interested in Cold War history. However, Lithuania faces significant demographic challenges that threaten its long-term economic prospects. The population has declined from 3.7 million in 1990 to approximately 2.8 million today, due to low birth rates and emigration. Many young Lithuanians have sought opportunities in Western Europe, particularly after EU accession, creating brain drain concerns. Lithuania's strategic location has made it a crucial player in regional security and geopolitics. The country has been particularly active in supporting democratic movements in neighboring Belarus and Ukraine. Following the 2020 Belarusian elections, Lithuania became a haven for Belarusian opposition figures, including Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, who established her office in Vilnius. The 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine further highlighted Lithuania's importance as a NATO frontline state. The country has provided military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine while hosting NATO forces as part of enhanced forward presence. Lithuania's experience with Soviet occupation has informed its strong support for Ukrainian sovereignty and territorial integrity. Climate change and environmental protection have become increasingly important issues for Lithuania. The country has committed to carbon neutrality by 2050 and has invested heavily in renewable energy sources. The closure of the Ignalina nuclear power plant in 2009, required for EU membership, created energy security challenges that Lithuania has addressed through diversification of energy sources and improved regional connections. Today's Lithuania is a parliamentary democracy with a market economy, having successfully completed its transition from Soviet rule. The country has become a regional leader in technology and innovation, with a thriving startup ecosystem and advanced digital infrastructure. Vilnius has regained its status as a major cultural center, while the restored Old Town reflects the country's complex historical heritage. Lithuania maintains strong ties with its Baltic neighbors and plays an active role in European and transatlantic institutions. The country has been a vocal advocate for democracy and human rights, particularly regarding developments in Belarus and Ukraine. As Lithuania faces contemporary challenges including demographic decline and emigration, it continues to build upon its thousand-year journey from medieval Grand Duchy to modern European nation. The Lithuanian story exemplifies resilience and determination in the face of repeated foreign domination. From its origins as a pagan Baltic stronghold to its current status as a member of the European Union and NATO, Lithuania has preserved its distinct identity while adapting to changing circumstances. This remarkable historical journey reflects the broader experience of Eastern European nations seeking independence, democracy, and prosperity in the modern world.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more engaging historical content.